What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I've been watching the fallout from this whole Katt Williams thing. Now, I didn't have an opportunity to watch the full thing, but I watched about 3 minutes worth of clips on Instagram. And the reason that I did that is that I didn't want to ruin my initial reaction to it or my authentic reaction to it from reviewing it on After Hours. So make sure y'all tap into After Hours tonight, because I heard Ricky Smiley responded to Katt Williams. Kevin Hart responded to Katt Williams. But Katt Williams was going off on everybody, including Steve Harvey and the like. And so let me tell you what I took from it, because I always look at it a little bit differently, it seems like, than the majority of the population. And so I know that Katt had been paying attention and he wanted to set the record straight on all of this stuff. But my first initial reaction was, what's the point of this? Like, what's the goal? What's the objective? Is it just to set the record straight? Is it to expose how people moving in Hollywood? Is it to expose that there's no real brotherhood amongst comedians? What's the point of it, right? And then my second reaction was, just based off of seeing a couple little clips, entertainment, right? Like, oh man, that's really, really entertainment. He is really funny. And I remember Katt Williams actually coming here. I didn't go to the concert, but it was a big thing here in Detroit, where it was supposed to be, I guess, a show with him and Steve Harvey. And the word on the street was that Katt Williams absolutely went off on Steve Harvey. Now, I didn't know at the time of whether or not it was a competition, like a roasting session, like a Steve Harvey versus Katt Williams or what, but it seemed like Steve Harvey at the time kind of played it off like, no, it wasn't a roast, it was just like promoted as a versus, and Katt Williams took it the wrong way and all of that stuff. But you know, it changed the narrative. And then, you know, Katt Williams had roasted him and went off on him real bad, but obviously the story kind of went away. And that's kind of what happens in social media or whatever content is, right? Last week it was Diddy. The next week it was TD Jakes. Before that it was Jonathan Majors. Now it's Katt Williams, academics, and then it's gonna be another story. So first, if I'm one of them that went off by Katt Williams, because again, I haven't watched the entirety of it and I'm looking forward to reviewing it on After Hours tonight. So if you're not on After Hours with Anton Daniels, look it up, tap in. It's gonna be a great show. And we growing the channel organically from the beginning, from scratch. So small channel, but we have a lot of fun because I can be 100% unfiltered over there. But if we looking at it from a strategic perspective, if I'm them, if I'm Ricky Smiley and them, I'm not even reacting to it. I didn't hear Steve Harvey say anything about it, and I know everybody think that Steve Harvey is a simp. I think that Steve Harvey is a simp. But then at the same time, Steve Harvey is a workhorse. He grind, he hustle, and he go and get it. And so I heard he was saying something about giving flowers to Bernie Mac, holding Steve Harvey accountable. I can't wait to review it. But here's a couple of different takes that I take from it. A, never really respond to negativity unless it's in your best interest. This is almost like the art of war, the rules that come along with content creation version. Never, ever respond unless it's in your best interest to do so. Now, it's only a couple different situations that it's in your best interest to do so. A, if you're responding to somebody that has a significant platform or may even be bigger than you, to where it brings visibility into what you're doing, that's awesome. So you're giving people something to latch on to, right? And then B, if the voice of a person becomes so significant to where it starts to disrupt or interrupt anything that you got going on long term. It's the only two times that you respond. Otherwise, you know, even if you target somebody or you go on to get somebody, you don't do it openly, you do it silently. You do it through lawyers, you do it through strategy. You know, you don't just openly go after somebody or respond to somebody unless long term it's in your best interest to do so. And it's a couple different situations that you can use, or a few different scenarios that you can justify that it's in your best interest to do so, all right? That's the first thing. Second takeaway is there is no brotherhood. There is no brotherhood when it comes to black people There is no brotherhood when it comes to men. There is no sisterhood when it comes to women. It's a dog-eat world and dog-eat-dog world, and everybody gonna have to fend for themselves. Even when you look at the brotherhood that they tried to create amongst comedians, and this is a lesson for real life. All of these lessons I adapt to real life. So when I react to stuff or I see stuff happening or I see stuff play out, I look at it much different than a lot of other people may look at it, right? There is no real brotherhood. And so they tried to create a brotherhood amongst comedians. So for example, you used to see Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. They all used to rock out with each other. And I remember that even Mike Epps, and I'm surprised that he avoided all of this nonsense. Mike Epps and Kevin Hart was going back and forth. And Kevin Hart, to his credit, and this is one of the reasons why I like Kevin Hart, is that he always kind of takes the high road. People can say what they want about him. They may not necessarily care for him as far as his comedic chops versus like a Katt Williams. And that's also a dangerous game to play, is that you gotta understand your competition. When I seen Steve Harvey versus Katt Williams, and then I seen the result of it, I was like, there's no way that this can work out in Steve Harvey's favor. He just needs to take his check and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But when you seen them create that brotherhood, it was still a lot of outliers and a lot of people that was going back and forth in that situation, and it still didn't work out, right? Not the way that they try to create it. So when you talk about solidarity and stuff, and I even looked at some of the comments in some of these posts that was reposting what was happening with Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe is absolutely cooking. That dude is not turning off the fire at all. People want to see blood in the street. They want to see blood in the street. They want to see carnage. They want to see people going at each other. That positivity stuff, you're going to have to sprinkle the medicine inside of the candy, because the candy is much more tasteful than whatever it is that you trying to remedy for, solve for, add a solution for. You got to put the medicine inside of the candy. But there is no solidarity amongst anybody. Rich people versus poor people, white people against each other. Everybody is going for broke, and everybody is going to do the thing that's in their best interest. Ain't nobody checking for nobody. Nobody is checking for anybody. Everybody is going for theirs. And whoever get caught up in the way, that's the true nature of what America is now. That's the true nature of capitalism. And it's the true nature of content creation. So I don't know what bone he had to pick with everybody, and I can't wait to review it tonight. Hopefully a lot of y'all tap in and we're going to have a good time. But more importantly, you got to stay above it unless it actually benefits you. Or you got to utterly destroy your enemies completely. And know that even alliances can be temporary depending on what the objective is of the person that you align with. There is no brotherhood, sisterhood, black community, any of that. Ain't no sticking together. If that's what you're waiting for, you're going to die a sad person in this world. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I can't wait to be able to tap in with y'all after hours tonight. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. We got some great videos that's being released, and Stock Club that's popping off this weekend. I love y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. I'm out. Peace.